All right. Well, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to Deliberate Orthodoxy, the Emmanuel Discipling Network. And certainly, I'm happy tonight to have a couple of special guests with me as we prepare for our 75th anniversary celebration Sunday at Emmanuel Baptist Church, celebrating 75 years of faithful witness here in Ruston. And it's always good to welcome on some old friends, some folks that have been with us at Emmanuel at different times. And these two, unlike Pam and Jeff, who were with me last week, and I got to talk with, these two actually, you guys moved away before I came to Emmanuel, but so many people speak so well of the two of you and your family, and certainly they still miss you. And so it is a blessing to be here with Chad and Bobbi Conner. And I'm not going to do much introducing. I'm going to let you introduce yourselves. Would you please tell us, introduce yourselves and tell us a little about your family, where you live, and what you're doing now.
Okay. Well, I'll start, and I will let her talk about the kids. Okay?
There you go.
All right. So, hello, church family. Good to see and be a part of this. We're grateful. We are still in Laramie, Wyoming. We've been here 8.5 years now. I still work at Iverson Memorial Hospital. I'm the operations manager for the surgical department, and as I did when I was in Louisiana. And you want to say about your work?
I had started teaching at the Laramie Middle School here in town, and I'm teaching 6th grade English. So this is my 7th year there. And so we have 2 boys. Eli is our oldest. He's 24. He graduated from the University of Wyoming 2 years ago and then got married right away. And he is in the Army now, in the Armor Division, and is stationed down in El Paso, Texas. And then Zach, our youngest one, is 22. And he's still here in town, and he's about to finish up a degree at the University of Wyoming in December.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
So they're just grown up then. I mean,
yeah.
That's
great.
Yeah. That's great.
Vastly different than when Emmanuel saw them.
That's
for
it.
sure. For sure.
Well, that's definitely a pretty good segue, into looking back on your time, there at Emmanuel. Give us a little history of that. When did you guys begin attending Emmanuel, and why do you think the Lord led you there?
We started attending right about a year after we got married, so it would have been about in summer of 97. We were just kind of looking for a church home. We were both raised in Christian homes and everything, but then the first year we were married, Chad was working nights and weekends at the hospital, and then we were kind of realized we weren't really going to church faithfully and everything, so we just started visiting. And I don't know, when we went to Emmanuel, we were there, we just went one time, and then that very next week, Dr. Holly, Miss Mary Jane came to visit us, and just felt right at home. And so we didn't go anywhere else. That's where we stayed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would just add that it felt like home. People that were like us. We saw lots of possibilities, lots of mentors. Just wonderful people. And even though at that time maybe we weren't that spiritually grown up, being so young, we just knew that was going to be the kind of place that we would be taken care of and mentored, and we're grateful for that. We're still grateful for that.
Absolutely. And so you guys began to attend Emmanuel that young. I guess you sort of raised your kids there and kind of feel like you grew up there.
Oh, yeah. We started going there, a few years before we started having kids. So, but yeah, the boys were raised there. They, everyone was like another family for us. Dr. Holly, Miss Mary Jane were kind of like bonus grandparents for them. And we were there without any family of our own. And so Emmanuel was our family.
Yeah.
And and I had someone ask me at work the other day, they were like, well, Bobbi, your kids turned out, pretty good. What did you guys do or whatever? And I said, the big thing was just, we had them in church all the time, and having that community of everyone there to help us raise the kids I think was the key.
Yeah. Agreed.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, thinking back to both when you came to Emmanuel and those first few years there, and as things moved along, I mean, what were your, when you think about the church, what were your impressions of Emmanuel, and then while you were there, how did the Lord grow you in your faith and bless your family there?
Well, I can tell you the first few years that we were there, we were a part at first of a small Sunday school class. But we made so many friends, and our class grew, and it was kind of like the community of the folks that were in the same age as we, and with that came maybe a little more boldness, a little more willing to share our life experiences and have that community to help each other. And so when we were in our late 20s, like even before our kids, it was really important to us to have just a good group of people. I always think of Jason, Melissa Hogg. I remember the Bristers, just a few different ones. But it was really a blessing. It really pulled us, from those younger years into going, here shortly we'll be having kids. And we knew we would, just have that family around us. And that was really important. So.
And I think that we definitely grew and matured in our faith during our time that was there. Definitely when we started, I mean, even though we'd been raised in Christian homes, we were not mature Christians. And then hopefully the people, while we were there, I remember Merlene Willis telling us one time that she was like, wow, I just really watched you guys grow since you've been here. So, people like her are the ones to credit for that.
Yeah.
And a lot of great role models.
Yes. A ton.
Absolutely. Well, as you think back, over your time here at Emmanuel, are there any memories? What were your fondest memories of your time here? What were the high marks? As you think about your time here, I mean, that's a long time with a whole lot of events. Certainly in the life of your family, but what were some of the high marks? The things that you're thankful that you experienced here at Emmanuel.
For me, it would be all of the things that our kids were involved in, and almost everything they did. We tried to be involved in also, but just RAs, vacation Bible school, just, in their Sunday school classes and Sunday morning worship and just everything. Just, that there were so many different activities and things for them to be involved in. And, I think about Jackson Pruden, Jeff and Pam, you said we're on there, and Jackson and Zach are still like best friends. I mean, they grew up together in that church. And so to me, that is one of the highlights.
Yeah. And I definitely think of things like the fellowship in the Family Life Center, just getting together with the entire church, mission projects that we used to do together, and the music. At that time, choirs aren't so much the thing as they used to, but I used to get to do that, do some ensembles.
Christmas cantatas.
Christmas cantatas. I mean, just so much stuff. Hanging of the Greens. We always did that. Yeah. And then I always just remember the other deacons of the church. Maybe when we were young, it was just they were the deacons, but I've always felt, as I'm sure most people do, like you just feel a little bit short of the mark, and to be taken along by and to become a deacon, and then to have all these super guys mentoring me has really meant a lot to me. And I'd be remorse not to mention Dr. Holly and Miss Mary Jo. And yeah, they just, interesting fact is Dr. Holly still calls us occasionally to say happy birthday.
That's what I was going to say. When you said he
yeah.
called you, I was waiting on the happy birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. And
you always knew you were getting that call.
Oh, yeah. Or just to check on the boys and see where they are and stuff. But that's the kind of people that we were with at Emmanuel. I mean, it was just really amazing to just to be there with so many just fantastic Christians and Christians that disciple people. I mean, I know in our lives, even what we do up here in Laramie now, all of that foundation came from just everybody in the church. You know, man, it was just wonderful.
Well, and one of our highlights too that we talk about all the time is the last couple of years that we were there, we were helping with the adult 7 class.
Yes.
And Chad was teaching, and I was just kind of in there, you know.
Yeah.
But those, you know, those adults really took us under their wing and mentored us, and they taught us so much. Yeah. And that was quite the experience for us. Yeah.
And it's like now that we're in our mid 50s now. But you know, just the privilege to sit with that group, John Roebuck, Jerry Baker, there's just so many, I.B. Emmons, Charles Johnson, and everybody knows these guys, and they just had a profound impact on who we are in our ministry now. I mean, they basically showed us what was important, and to be scripturally solid and to love. And we still think of that group. We think of everyone, but it's just such a privilege to sit over but under such a fine class. And I know some of them have passed away, but it really is something that has shaped how we are beginning to minister to for us now. It's in those 30s, 40s, and you're giving the advice, which is just hard to believe you're doing that now, right? Because you don't think you're going to get there, but I mean, we're getting there fast, you know. So, but wonderful adult 7 group. Love them. Still do.
Well, I knew you had mentioned that to me, you know, earlier, and just that's one of the things about Emmanuel that's a blessing to me even now is that cross demographic, you know, in terms of age groups, the way people love on, you know, the older people love on the younger people, and there's just such a spirit there of oneness, and it's not, you know, the senior adult group over here and the younger people over here, you know, it's not really how it works.
Yeah,
that's a blessing.
Yeah, we do miss one thing about Wyoming. They're a little more to themselves kind of people, right? And we sure do miss those hugs. I'm telling you, man, those ladies down there, we do miss that.
I bet you do. Well, you know, as we kind of get to the end of our time here, and I appreciate you guys sharing so much with us, but you know, as we kind of, you know, if you had a word, you know, here we are, we're celebrating 75 years and you know, maybe 20 or so of those, you know, maybe a little less than that, you know, you guys were here, you know, for part of that. And so you experienced the ministry of the church. You were a part of the ministry of the church. And if you had any words of encouragement, you know, for the folks at Emmanuel as we celebrate 75 years, what would those be?
My words of encouragement, I guess, would be to, as we were talking about, I mean, you know, even though you go to church to worship and to draw closer to God, that community, that fellowship with others is so important. And I think that, you know, don't try and do it on your own. You know, just Emmanuel has been such a special place for so many people for so many years that just keep it up.
That's it.
Yeah, I was thinking of like where we are now. We go to Snowy Range E-Free. It's an evangelical church, and the things that have happened here in the country in the last month or two has really created an opportunity for the church and for Christians. You know, just to love people, to bring them in, regardless of whether you're a church. I was when you called. Sometimes we forget how connected we are as the body of Christ, and it's when I was thinking on that, it's just just being with faithful, loving people.
Yes.
And that is who God calls us to be. And it's truly a privilege to learn that at Emmanuel. And just so the people at Emmanuel, just so you know, we are still continuing that ministry up here. We think of you often. And, they were the foundation for our outreach here in Laramie and the things that we do now. And we will forever be grateful that we had great Christian mentors and people that loved us.
Yeah. Well, they are certainly, I tell you, they are certainly grateful that God placed you in their midst, and they were able to love on you, and you were able to minister alongside them, and just fond memories of how God was working both in you and in them and in his church. And he's going to continue to do that. I just want to thank y'all so much for taking this time. And certainly I know our folks are going to really enjoy it. God bless y'all.
Thank you for having us.
You too. Goodbye, everybody.
We miss you.
Take care. Bye-bye.